I want to eat hot dog. I always want
What?
to eat hot dog.
Corn dogs. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is the first unit that this entire lesson that we're talking about, this entire semester, is all about close, but not quite. This entire the first unit, Unit 2. This is Unit 3. Everything that we're talking about, raise your hand before you write an answer. Okay. This whole unit that we're talking about, what? Even Stella hasn't been here, and she knows.
Yeah, but we're not 100% sure.
Well, I'll call him Stella.
Working together.
That was the first unit. The whole entire theme of our units that we're talking about is what? That was the first unit we talked about working together and kind of, I'm looking for more specific words. What was the theme of our entire semester we're talking about in September, October, November, December, January, February? Okay. Take it.
I have my hand up. Oh.
Why?
I was all what?
Stella.
I hate it. I didn't know.
Oh, look, someone went and looked in her book. That's how she knows. I'm going to call the girl that has been waiting to raise her hand nice and calmly and patiently and wants to answer. Emma.
Accomplished. What?
Is that right?
Yes.
Is that right, Emma?
It's right.
Emma looked it up in her book.
No.
It's an accomplishment. And Rocket decides to steal so they get the points.
I said accomplish.
Monument.
No, I said accomplish. Today is not a good day.
So, use one of your sales accomplishments is what we're talking about. That's the theme of our unit. So the first unit we talked about accomplishments and what related accomplishments. We did. Stella was right when we were talking about working together in groups with people, which we have been focusing on, right? But what was our first theme of our unit that we talked about? In order to work with people, we have to do what? I want to see if you can remember it. Emma's looking in her book and she's kind of cheating, but she's being resourceful. Kay's looking as well. Let's see if you can remember. Joshua!
Oh man! What?
Oh, come on!
Has to be Aqua.
Oh, I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him for he died.
Let's have Emma Young. What are we learning about? Common ground.
Oh.
Okay. And Emma Young, explain. What is common ground?
Common ground is something that is shared by two persons.
Okay. Two or more people, right? Now, why is it important to find common ground? When we study about this unit, we determined that establishing common ground is important. But why? What is significant about establishing common ground? Now, Stella and Sally weren't here, so that's what we need to review to help them, because we're going to be building on these units. Why do you think that's important? Go ahead, Miss Mom.
If we find a common ground, people can share ideas, and then they can find a way to work together.
Is that right? You guys agree?
Yes. No.
No?
Oh yes. Oh so yes. Yes.
Is it easy to work with for example, if you're working with somebody and you know nothing about them and you don't have anything in common, is it easy to work with them?
No.
Can you form a relationship very well with them?
No.
No. But if you find something in common, is it easier to form a relationship and work together with them? Right? So that's what we talked about. Finding common ground is very important in establishing a relationship, even with people who you're completely different from. Right? Good. Now, after we move from common ground, what do we move to next? What is the second unit that we studied about? Do it from your memory, not from your book. Only Ms. Hong can remember.
My arms.
Daniel's looking back in his book because he can't remember. No? Alice, can you remember?
Yeah, she should get break.
Now, what do we talk about with transformation?
What?
What do we talk about with transformation?
Why did you change it?
A big change.
That is true, but why did we talk about that in this concept of achievements?
Hey, that's the paper we make a story on. Yeah, the print. You should die because you.
Do you remember? What did we talk about accomplishments? We talked about accomplishments related to transformations and what can often cause transformations. blank blank?
No.
Why does she get 2 points?
Because she got the answer right.
Hmm?
But now she can't explain it, so she gets
Ah,
2
he-
points for
he
getting the
talked-
answer right,
he
and then she
talked-
gets a burn for not being able to explain it, right? One right, one wrong.
Yeah, transformation.
But teacher,
It is about transformations. It is about the idea of we're transforming. We talked about the purpose, the reason for transforming. What causes transformations, specifically in people. You remember?
Ah!
Have the rest of you been participating and studying in class, or has Emma been the only one here?
Maybe.
Maybe only Emma? The Emmas, sorry, both the Emmas have the answer. That's
Ah!
it. No? Julie, why do we talk about transformation?
Oh yeah, I'm not going. Challenge.
Challenges. And what can allow us to overcome these challenges, Julie?
By motivation and transformation.
I'm
Changing your
listening for
mind.
Julie's voice,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Emma's voice.
I'm telling her. Motivate.
Okay. Motivation. Motivation allows us to overcome challenges, right? And achieve our goals. Now, what does motivation mean?
This definition.
What does motivation mean? Daniel, what does motivation mean?
To get motivated.
Not using the actual root word in its definition.
Motive.
What does motivation mean? Daniel, come on. You know.
Inspire. Yeah.
Just let him think. For a second. Now, this is important because we're going to be talking about inspiration for our new unit. Now, inspiration and motivation are closely related, but they are not the same. And we're going to talk about how. Inspiration and motivation are closely related. Okay? They're like best friends, essentially, but they're not always the same. Now, motivation does not mean inspiration. Motivation can come from inspiration. But what is motivation? Alex, what do you think? What does motivation mean? You just said the same thing that Daniel said, but it wasn't right the first time.
Didn't he just tell me?
Come on. Yeah.
It is something that causes you to do something.
Thank you. The reason why are causing you to do something, right? Okay. The reason why I do something is motivation. For example, I want to do well on my test, right?
Yes.
Why do you want to do well? Why do you want to get great grades on your exams? Can you raise your hand and tell me? Why do you want to get great grades on your exam? Okay. Okay. That's a good reason to do well on your exam so my mom doesn't kill me, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure if all your moms are going to kill you or just Kate's mom. Okay? But that's an example of motivation, right? I want to do this because of this reason, right? That's my motivation. Okay? Now, all of you might have different motivations or reasons for doing it. That's okay. That's a type of motivation. Now, let's talk about how motivation is different from inspiration. What is inspiration? Inspiration and motivation.
I like crazy people.
I want someone else to speak with something. What do you
Hey
think of
Daniel,
inspiration?
put your hands up. I'll tell you this.
No? Okay.
Hey, Joshua.
Maybe I should just sit down. I'll let Emma come up here and teach class for you guys. How about that? Does that sound okay?
No, you can just pick on people. Yeah. Anyway, Alice, I prefer Alice. She's so smart. No.
Okay, Emma, go ahead and explain. What is inspiration?
Inspiration is like someone getting kind of like hint or spark to and yum. Inspiration is to get like a very
Interest?
no, like inspiration is to get a hint and like
Inspiration is going on.
So if you don't know the answer and I give you a clue, that's inspiration, a hint.
or like not a clue, but you saw something and then you got inspired and then you.
Well, okay, you're using the root word, so you have to explain what that means. So.
If you get inspired, like you look at something and then you get interested and engage to that thing, and then you make results.
Okay, we're getting a good start there. Can you help her?
It is something that gets you a new idea to go
Oh.
Not just solve problems, but just an interesting or new idea, right? Now, as you said, with this new something, usually new idea or new interest, as the other Emma said, okay? It gives you it gives you an idea about something, and then of course you want to achieve that idea, so it'll give you some form of motivation as well. So let's look at the definition I have up here in the dictionary very quickly. The act or process of giving someone a reason for doing something. Okay? The condition of being eager to act or work. The force or influence that causes somebody to do something. That's motivation. Okay? Now, let's look at inspiration. Inspiration being something that makes someone want to do something. Okay, we have the same there. That gives someone an idea about what to create. A force or influence that inspires someone. A person, place, or experience that do or create something. Another, a good idea. Okay? So, inspiration can give me an idea of something I want to do or create or something I want to be, right? This gives me the idea or allows me to create or make the idea. Okay? Motivation doesn't give you idea. Motivation gives you the reason why to do something, right? Okay? So, if I say, oh, I want to do well on my test, but so my mom doesn't kill me, is that inspiration? No, it is a type of motivation, a reason why. Okay? What would inspire you to do well on your exams? What would be something that would inspire you to do well on your exams? Not just motivate you, but inspire you to do well on your exams. Why do you want to get good grades in school and do well on your exams?
Self-satisfaction.
That could be one, okay. That is a potential. That makes me feel good about myself. So I feel that way, so I want to. Is there any other, maybe not just internal, but I mean external reason why? Or external, something else. Why would I want to, why do I care about getting good grades on my test, getting good grades, or doing well on my exams here in school? Because my parents don't want to give me a reward, or my parents might punish me. That's motivation, right? But why would I be inspired? I want to do this for myself.
Because they saw someone to get better.
But why would you want to do that?
Because
Raise your hand, please, so you don't have everyone speaking. I want more people to speak. That's fine, but just let me know who wants. Give me an idea. Alice.
doing it first.
Just try. Come on.
Because of our future.
What about your future? Explain.
When we get a good grade at the elementary school or middle school, it will be helpful to go to a good, high school.
Good. Okay. And then what? What can that result in?
Or university. So we will get a job. A good job, and we will not have to get rest.
Okay. Good. If it's a fairy tale story, but that's good. That sounds more like an inspiration, right? I want to do this so I can go to a good school, and then I can get a good job, right? Now, that can motivate me to do well my own personally, right? Okay. But inspiration can cause motivation, right? It can give me a reason why I want to do well. Does motivation cause me to be inspired, though?
No.
Can it give me the idea that I want to create or do or make something? Motivation does? No. Okay? So this is why they're related but not the same. Inspiration can give me the idea or make me want to do something. And they can be related to motivation. That's the reason why I want to do it. Okay? So inspiration can cause motivation. But motivation cannot cause inspiration. Okay? So if I want to be like somebody or do something, that is a type of Alice gave us a great example of I want to get a good job. I want to do what I want to do in the future. I want to get a good job. In order to get a good job, I have to go to a good college. In order to go to a good college, I need to do well in
Teacher.
on the test and get good grades in school, right? If I don't get good grades in school, can I probably go to a good college? No. Now, if I don't go to a good college, can I get the job I want? Maybe, depending on the job, right? But is it going to be harder to get the job that I want to do without going to a good school or going to college? Could be, right? So, that's why we're talking about the inspiration. The desire for me to do more about what I want. And often it will give us an idea about what I want. A force of influence that inspires. A person, place, or experience that makes me want to do something, right? Gives me that motivation as well. Okay, so we moved on from motivation, the reason why I want to do something, to overcome these challenges and transform myself and make me a better person. And we're going to be talking about some things that it can inspire us to do the same. Okay? Some things that can inspire us. Now, if we look from our new chapter of on page number 191, you can look up here on the screen, you can look in your book. Okay? Once again, our weekly concept is inspiration, and we're going to be studying about for the next month, as it said. Our central question is, what can people accomplish by working together? Once again, working together, right? We're going to talk about. We talked about how motivation and working together works. We're going to talk a little bit about inspiration some, and what can people accomplish by working together, and how can that help inspire us. Now, what is the person doing here in this picture, Sally?
Building a house.
Good. Now, is he building the house by himself?
No.
No. What is he specifically doing in building a house right now? Or what are they doing together?
They're like pushing up something heavy.
Good. What are they pushing up heavy? Good. They're making a house, right? And in order to make the house, they have to first build the walls. And you can see. Now, could he do this? Sally, could he push up this wall by himself? No. So he has to do what? Work together with a group of people to do this, right? Okay. So there's so many things that we have that we can do by ourselves, but there are many things that we have to work together in order to accomplish the same way. And we can't do it just by ourselves. For example, we're talking about building a house. We're going to be talking about inspired work. Now, let's look on, if you would, open up your books to page 191. Let's read through it very quickly. Talk about inspired work. Okay. On page 191, let's talk about, we have some vocabulary words that are going to help us understand a little bit about inspiration when we're talking about this inspired work. Okay, 191.
Inspired work. Helping to build homes for people who can't afford them on their own is a time-honored tradition. Working side by side with other volunteers increases morale and productivity. We rely on everyone's ingenuity to help solve problems and get the job done right. Whenever I'm asked to volunteer for this program, I don't have to think twice.
Okay, let's go through this in the beginning. We have lots of interesting new words here for us that might be difficult. Maybe you know, and maybe you don't. Let's go through and talk about them first. First thing it says here, helping to build homes for people who can't afford them. When I'm doing something and helping people for free, what is that called? Okay, they both work. Just wanted to check. Okay. Alex, what is that called? What is it called when you do something for free usually?
Volunteer.
Good. Now, as our school, you guys are required to do a certain amount of volunteer work for hours per year that you're in school, right? Here?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So you can, for example, make houses for people, do some type of volunteer work or some type of charity work, we call it as well. Okay, you can work for a charity. Now, does anybody know what a charity or a volunteer organization that has where people build houses for others that cannot afford it? Very big, famous organization. You know, the Red Cross. Well, that is a charitable organization. They do something like that, but they do almost everything, not just specific. There's one in particular that often will build houses for people. No? What is a place where an animal live? What is that called?
Shelter.
Could be a shelter. Anything else? The environment where something lives. Now, if I just type in habitat and see what thing first comes up, habitat and well, so we look on it. Habitat for Humanity. What do? They build houses for
people who can't afford.
Very good. So you can work for them, you can donate to them, as you can see. They build things. This is a very large charitable organization that has existed for a very long time where people build houses for others who can't afford them.